Welcome back, everybody. I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but as you can see, I'm not in Wisconsin. So welcome to Costa Rica. I'm here working remotely for the next few months. And yeah, so you'll probably hear lots of bird sounds. Hopefully it'll add to the experience. Just start with a few deep connective breaths. If you're in a place where you can hum on the exhale, it's like a nasal hum. I'd invite you to do that. I've explained it before, but for those of you that are new, it actually releases nitric oxide into the brain, laughing gas. So very small amounts, of course, but what you would get in a dentist's office in the old days, and it's very soothing to the nervous system. So I've been noticing in my own practice the need to do several things before I meditate so that I can drop in more easily into my body, into the present moment. So we'll be doing a few different things to help land, help release whatever you've been doing before and like really arrive in your body in the present moment. So the invitation, also, eye contact can be very soothing and connective if you're making eye contact with a person who is regulated. I feel pretty regulated right now. So I invite you, if you want to make eye contact with me, to breathe in deeply and hum on the exhale. Breathe into your belly, deep into the belly. On this next one, I want you to tune into the vibration in your face and your throat and really feel your own sound. Our own sound can be incredibly regulating and soothing and softening. So feel the vibration of your voice moving through your face and your throat. Almost like, I like to think of it like an internal massage. It sort of feels like, yeah, like an internal massage. So tune into your own frequency, tune into your own voice, your own vibration. I'll mute myself and go at your own pace. If you want your eyes open, that's fine. If you want to close your eyes, that's fine too. The idea here is that you're tuning in to your own vibration. All right, whenever you're ready, begin. We'll do maybe like 10 breaths like this. Keep going. Allow your face to soften, your jaw to drop, your shoulders to drop on the out breath with the hum. pausing to hum, breathing normally, feeling what's here now in your own being. When you're ready, opening your eyes. So I would invite you to use the humming whenever you start to feel anxious or ungrounded. Been using it the last several months now. And it seems to be, for me at least, one of the quickest ways to feel my body again, to come into a state of groundedness. Even in challenging situations, it seems to be really helpful. So it's become a real habit now where as soon as I start to feel dysregulated or out of sorts, I'll start to hum. And I used to be worried about doing it around other people, and now I'm just like, whatever, it helps. So yeah, do it a lot while I'm driving. And I've really been noticing a shift in my own nervous system, a like calming effect. Okay, so let's do something calming, but also a little bit energizing, in case you're feeling some fatigue or tiredness. So the invitation is to stand up, but if that's not a possibility, you can stay sitting. It works either way. So this next thing is it's a way of kind of like directly helping the body and the nervous system know that you're grown up, you're safe. And when we feel unsafe, the trauma response is to go like this, right? To crouch and to contract all of these muscles. It's like a protective thing to protect our organs, to protect our head. So the opposite is standing upright and maybe even raising the arms if that's comfortable for you today. If not, if you're having shoulder problems or whatever and it's not good for you, then just standing upright with the shoulders back, a little bit of a back bend. So just a slight amount of a back bend, whatever's comfortable to you. If you have back problems, above all, always trust what you know about your body more than anything I say. Knees are bent. And if you're wanting and it feels good to your body, raise your arms. And you're just doing like a slight upward look. But again, trust the body. If you have neck stuff, don't look upwards. Just reaching towards the sky. This position tells the body, I'm big, I'm safe. It's the opposite of the crouching. So we can do that in a way that coordinates breath. Again, if you are comfortable reaching your arms overhead, do that. If you're not, you could just raise your arms to shoulder level if that's better for your shoulders. And if neither one is good for you, then just trust that. And you can move the arms like this with the in breath and the out breath. Okay. So we're going to get bigger with the in breath because we're expanding, right? You're expanding primarily from here. You're going to expand first. So if you watch me, how it goes, you'll see my belly come out with the in breath. So if you watch more closely, you'll see my belly will expand first. So my belly expands first, then my chest deflates, then my belly deflates. So it's like a wave kind of. Let's just do that with just the breath. And if you want, you can put your hands on your belly or your heart or both and feel things better. Feel the expansion first in the belly, then in the chest, deflation in the chest, deflation in the belly. And I'll be sideways so you can see me whenever you're ready. In breath. Good. Now we can combine movement with the breath. So like I said, you can, if you're limited in your shoulder movement, you can just expand a little bit. If you want to expand out this way, you can. Or you can just raise the arms like this. Or you can just keep doing the breath too if arm movement is not working for you today. Or you can expand big above your head. One is not better than the other. So we're just going to do slow in breath, slow out breath. They're about the same length. And again, belly, then chest expanding, chest deflating, then belly deflating. Okay. And we'll add stuff in as we go. So however you want to use your arms or not is fine. Whenever you're ready, going at your own pace. On the out breath, you breathe out through your nose or your mouth, whichever feels most comfortable or more soothing. You can experiment. Close your eyes if you want to, or keep them open. Bend the knees if you're standing. They're not locked. If you're more comfortable sitting, then sit. So arms get big with the in-breath. And then arms soften back in towards the body with the out-breath. Just integrate for a moment. 2 hands on the belly, right below the navel, knees bent. Just feeling the breath at the belly. Imagine a string from the crown, like the top back, the crown of your head. And the string is just kind of like gently pulling upward on the crown. So your chin is slightly tucked, your spine is elongated, knees are bent. You're breathing into the belly, the dantian, that center point. Soften your face. Let the shoulders drop. Notice if you're holding your jaw or your inner mouth tightly. And see if on the out breath you can invite face and the mouth to soften. Good. Shaking it out. Shaking your arms, shaking your legs. If you can. maybe even bouncing a little bit if that feels good, or you're just bouncing your knees and everything else in your body is loose. This is another really good grounding exercise, is just to bounce like this. And then just taking a moment to move your body however it wants to move. And if your body says, I want to sit down, I want to lay down, by all means, listen to your body. Above all else, listen to the body. Our minds make up all kinds of stuff based on our mood, based on whether we're triggered or not. But the body is the link to the intuition, and you can really lean into trusting it. You're just stretching or moving however you want to. And then coming to the place of meditation that you want to be, the form that you want to be in. And again, some of us may have ideas that sitting is better. We've been taught that sitting on the floor is even better. And yeah, I don't ascribe to that. I really think that being in the most comfortable posture, for me at least, is what supports me to meditate and to go more deeply inward. When I'm constantly in pain, if I'm having a really strong pain day, I have a fair amount of chronic pain. And when I have one of those days, sitting doesn't work for me. I often meditate lying down, in fact, probably more than I do sitting up. So I want to really encourage you to listen to what your body needs today. Honor it. So find your posture, sitting or lying down or even standing. Standing can be great if you're feeling sleepy or if the other two are uncomfortable. And you can close your eyes if you want to. If they're open, I would encourage you to either turn the screen away or just focus downward. With that being said, if there's trauma in your history and it feels safer to be looking at me, and that's how you can more easily drop in, then trust that. Okay. At some point, you may want to experiment with closing your eyes or not looking at a human that's potentially moving. You may pick an object. Sometimes people use a candle flame to meditate on if they want to keep their eyes open, or a picture of someone who inspires you, a teacher, someone you love. Can meditate on anything. So I'm going to close my eyes. Usually that's how I focus most easily. But again, trust what you're needing in the now. Just begin by feeling your seat, feeling the base of your body. Just notice if you're sitting, is there a sensation of pressure at your sacrum? What's that like? Notice the nuances of where your body is contacting the floor or the chair. Noticing your feet. What are your feet in contact with? Where are there places of pressure and contact? And then bringing your awareness to your posture, to your face, the whole length of your spine, and seeing if you can elongate the spine while relaxing the muscles. So there can be a way of like rigidly sitting upward and tightening all of the muscles of your body. And what I'm suggesting is just imagine that there's a string and it's pulling your top of your head, the back top of your head, a little upward. Chin is somewhat down. And yet the muscles, you're consciously becoming aware of which muscles are activated in your body, which parts of your body are holding or tightening. Seeing if you can notice that. It's not wrong. It's okay. Breathing into those places of holding or tightness, respecting them. Body has its own wisdom of what it needs to do. So there's no forcing. And on the out breath, there's a natural softening that happens. So see if you can just tune into the natural softening of the out breath. Kind of like ride the wave of softening and lean into it, allowing more and more parts of your body to melt into the out breath. And there may be parts of the body that don't want to melt, that have been held tightly for a long time, and they just aren't at a place where they're wanting or ready to melt. And really honoring and respecting that about your body if that's true. You may even discover areas of the body that are being held tightly that you didn't even know were being clenched. A lot of times, the buttocks or the pelvic area, there's a clenching that happens, or the jaw, mouth, shoulders, the clenching that happens that we're not even aware of. So, using this time initially, just become aware of what's present in your body today. Maybe even loosening the idea of any intentional softening and just being with what's here. Being open to the possibility that maybe muscles might want to soften with the out breath, but really allowing your body to take the lead and show you where it's at right now. Seeing if you can bring a really like a kind, welcoming feeling, like, oh, body, here you are. And if there's discomfort or pain, breathing into those parts of the body, bringing them some extra kindness, which might be the opposite of how you feel about your body a lot of the time. So it might be a stretch. I realize that. But seeing if you can just bring the intention of bringing kindness, if actually bringing kindness feels like too much of a stretch. Even just the intention of like, oh, body has been through a lot, carries me around every day. Wow, just having this like respect for what the body goes through. And we've done this before, but sometimes the body wants your own touch. So, like, a lot of times my jaw is really tight. I'll just place both of my hands on my cheeks, my neck. Just this gesture of, oh, I'm listening, body. I'm listening. I care. Use one or both hands. If there are parts of the body that can't be touched, but you're wanting attention, then imagining the breath as a loving hand guiding your breath through the imagination, imagining the breath going specifically to that knot in your low back or that deep clenching in your pelvis or whatever it may be. The breath carries consciousness and awareness. So, using the breath or the hands to bring this tender presence. I'm going to be quiet now, and the invitation is to practice in this way with your own body, using the breath to stay connected to the present moment and to be paying attention to your own body without needing to fix or change anything. Just bringing more and more presence, more and more allowing to exactly how your body is right now. Using the hands and breath to bring nurturing where it's needed. Mind wanders, no big deal. Back to body, back to breath, again and again. Just notice when the mind wanders, gentleness with the mind, back to body, back to breath. Expanding your awareness now to include emotions. So, emotions often show up in the body. Sometimes we have an awareness of what the sensation in the body is linked to a certain emotion. Sometimes we know why we feel an emotion, but a lot of times we don't. We try to force like a cognitive understanding of it. So the invitation here is to notice the raw emotion and the raw body sensation. And when you see your mind go into story or trying to figure it out and to make sense of it, see if you can just release that. Might be hard if the emotion is strong. My go-to is to try to understand. That's what my mind likes to do when it's feeling a strong emotion. There's a lot of utility in letting yourself feel an emotion in the body. So often we run away from emotions, and a lot of it is that we're really afraid of how it feels in the body. At least that's my experience, and many people I've spoken to. So see if you can just see, are there any motions here in my body? They might not have names, they might not have words, and they might, and that's not bad. But you don't have to understand them. You don't have to make sense of them. This is more of like another layer of allowing. Just allowing your being to be as it is. We're very used to feeling an emotion and reacting. How do I make it go away? How do I fix it? So, this is a little experiment of, can I just lean in and notice that emotion, either a known emotion or an emotion in the body? If the emotion is known, then seeing if you can notice how the body feels in relation to that. And again, when you get into story or like figuring out mode, see if you can notice that and let it go and come back to the energy in the body, because the emotion just wants to be witnessed and seen and felt and heard. And the mind takes us out of that. And that's where a lot of us get stuck, is we jump out of the body and out of the emotion into the mind, which distracts us. And then we don't get to be witnessed by this higher self or this witness part. A lot of times emotions are just moving through, they're just energy. See if you can view it maybe in that kind of way, that an emotion is energy. It's not a problem, it's not bad, no matter what it is, whether it be anger or jealousy or sadness or grief. It's an energy. And when given kind, loving presence, actually emotions will move and transform on their own. It's when we try to force them to move faster. And sometimes with deeper emotions like grief from like a loss, they may come in waves, and the way to work with that is to be with the wave. And you'll see as you practice being with your own emotions more, emotions tend to have a wave like quality. They peak and then they subside when we allow them to do what they want to do. It's when we hold and force and restrict and reject an emotion that it sticks around, and it tends to really activate the mind. So let's spend the next few minutes just being with the emotional body in this way as much as you can. And again, you can use your hands and your breath And if it's particularly challenging, you might even picture someone that is loving or nurturing towards you, or a time when you've been loving or nurturing to someone else. You can breathe in the quality of safe, kind, nurturing space holding to help you be with an emotion. And yeah, trust yourself on this one. If the mind is getting really activated or self critical, maybe then moving the body, touching the heart. The idea is not to be with emotion and beat the crap out of yourself. That's not productive. So if there's a highly self-critical voice that arises, come back to the intention of being with yourself in a way that is more compassionate. Breathing in a sense of connectedness or warmth or nurturing, which you can access by imagining a human or an animal or a tree or the ocean or something that brings you comfort. So let's be together in this way, the invitation, and ultimately trust your own inner voice as to what you're needing. If tears arise, let them come. If an expression of anger arises and you need to growl or yell, let it come. You don't have to stifle the movement of this energy. It's just energy. The body wants to move, let it move. Be with your own emotions like you would be with the emotions of someone you really love, with as much open hearted kindness, like you would be with a child if they were hurt, or your best friend. We're not fixing, we're not changing, we're presencing, we're inviting in, we're allowing, so that the emotional energy can move how it needs to. There's an unblocking, a freeing up of the emotional energetic pathways so that the energy can move. Using the humming if you need to soothe yourself too, it's another option. Then allowing your attention to expand just for a brief amount of time to include the mind. It's the most tricky thing to witness because it grabs our attention and it runs with the attention. So see if you can use your breath. So you're breathing, you're noticing the sensations of breathing. And then see if you can also just notice the mind, the content of the mind, the thoughts, for example. Maybe noticing the pace of the mind, noticing whether the mind feels confused or clear. And again, not fixing or changing, but just noticing, what is the mind like today in this moment? Breathing with that. Breath is here too. Hmm. So yeah, it can be useful to work with the mind in brief segments of time because it can be tricky, but you can build awareness around thoughts and be able to notice thoughts like clouds as they move through while staying connected to your breath or your mantra or whatever your object of focus is. So, to complete our meditation today, I'd invite you to join me in 3 Oms. We're going to breathe in together and then we'll start the Om. Feel the vibration of the Om in your body. If you're not able to voice an Om, feel it in your head and in your body. And imagine or feel the vibration of the sound moving through your physical body. Breathing in. Oh. 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 May the fruits of our practice today spread outwards in all directions and help to end the suffering of all beings everywhere. About each one of you. Thank you for coming. Thanks for showing up for yourself. Thanks for showing up and intending at least to allow your experience to be as it is. You can meet yourself exactly as you are in this moment. And that will flow outward from you. I'm really glad that we've started up again. I get so much out of this.